Hey, what's going on, Ramley? Welcome to the Rams Skinny here on the LAFB network. We are Los Angeles Sports, and this is your daily dose of Los Angeles Rams news on LAFB. You might be wondering, why are you just staring at my bald head without my better half, Skinny T? He is off for 4th of July weekend, but we haven't been on the mic for a little bit. I was on vacation. I had some stuff, scheduled out, so we at least got some episodes up, but I was on a cross-country road trip for 2 weeks, went to Zion, Yellowstone, Mount Rushmore, Minnesota, Omaha, Denver, back to LA. Great trip, great family trip. My 5-year-old daughter loved exploring and seeing all this stuff. But anyway, been away for a while. Skinny T's now off for a few days. We'll be back on Sunday. But I wanted to hop on here quick just to get some fresh content for you. Just because it's the offseason, we got to get some stuff going. And I thought there was a fun kind of topic to riff on real quick. And so I just wanted to jump on here. So hope all of you are well. Sorry you got to just watch me for this one, but like I said, we'll be back, the two of us. We want to do a lot more Rams videos. If you go to LAFBnetwork.com, tons of Rams articles, our socials. We try to do a really good job of Rams social content, but want to do a lot more video content. The goal is a video every day. Daily Rams video. I think that's what Rams fans deserve. And that's just good for the content business, keep things fresh. So hopefully, you'll be seeing a lot more of me and Skinny daily instead of just kind of the 2 or 3 days a week we've been doing. So we'll keep that going. But just, is it 2 days ago now, on Pat McAfee, we've all known the series Quarterback on Netflix, right? First season, I think, was a hit. Made me fall in love with Kirk Cousins. Who would have thought Kirk Cousins was Mr. Personality on that? But also when you have Marcus Mariota and Patrick Mahomes, I think Kirk Cousins' personality shines through. Season 2 finally is going to be released now. It got greenlit a while ago, and they had trouble finding. There was a lot of speculation, rumors that Matthew Stafford was going to be featured. And I remember we covered that for a little bit. Like, it was pretty much done. Obviously, he's not in it. The 3 in it are Joe Burrow, Kirk Cousins again, and then Jared Goff, who I'm going to talk about today. So I can't remember. If one of you guys remember, please comment in the comments. But yeah, Matthew Stafford was going to be one of the featured and then ended up not happening, obviously. So I don't remember why or what happened, even though we were kind of covering that up to that. But obviously, this was like a year ago. So anyway, it's coming out July 8th. So here in just a few days is when it drops on Netflix. Pat McAfee was able to release a trailer, a teaser, and the teaser was all Jared Goff, former Rams quarterback. Now, Rams fans know it's getting talked about ad nauseum, the trade, him for Stafford. I don't know if bad blood is a little too strong, but certainly opinions of how the trade went down, some hurt feelings. And Jared Goff clearly still feels that way. Now, I'm not getting on here to bash Jared Goff by any means. It's unfortunate how, that's what happens in life sometimes, especially in professional sports. But, he's obviously getting asked a question, and he's going to answer it very truthfully, but clearly still feels hurt by how the Rams did him, by how the Rams went about the trade process. And even Sean McVay has said, if I could do it again, I would handle it very differently. Like, we weren't obviously behind the scenes, but it was like 1 week, nope, season ends, Jared Goff's our guy, he is my quarterback, he's still 4 years under contract. The very next week, in Cabo, drinking tequila with Matthew Stafford, boom, trade happens, gone. Jared Goff in the middle of the night sent to Detroit. So even McVay says he doesn't love how it was handled. But it is what it is. I think overall, I'll get to that in a second. So Jared Goff, in this clip, and we'll see when the official show drops, but he essentially, I'll just read the one quote. It's a 2-minute clip of him talking, but the one quote is, "It kind of brought me from this moment of picking up the pieces to reinvigorated with this energy of, oh, this is what it feels like to be truly wanted and to have these guys behind you. I hadn't felt that in quite some time." Now, a lot of Rams fans have already taken to Twitter from this clip and obviously not pleased with him essentially throwing the Rams under the bus. especially when the Rams drafted him, traded up a lot of capital, took him first overall, especially when Sean McVay came a year later after a tough rookie season and helped to resurrect his career, especially when the Rams offense saw great heights together and great statistics and some great seasons, and oh, by the way, went to a Super Bowl, and oh, by the way, gave him a 5-year, $100+ million contract extension. So I think not a lot of Rams fans appreciated that dig that, now with Detroit, he's seeing what it feels like to be loved compared to where he was. When things end, the next thing is always going to look better. Like, I think when Jared Goff probably retires, I'm sure at that point I'll say, you know what? We had a lot of good years in LA. It didn't end great. The last, maybe it was the entire season or at least the back half of the season up until the trade was probably not very comfortable and great. But loved my time there. The organization did show me love. Yes, they drafted me and they gave me a second contract. So, I mean, clearly they liked me at that point. But it's still fresh. And the beauty of it, in my opinion, is this has built a true rivalry. It's a rivalry between teams that will really only see each other in the playoffs outside of facing each other every 4 years when the divisions meet. So it's one of those fun rivalries that is not interdivision, that you just have to kind of hope for a playoff matchup. And, it's an interesting kind of, I guess, subject, if you will, just because it's now been, 4 years? This is going into year 4, going to year 5, and it's still coming up. Now, again, this is a documentary. Obviously, that's one of the questions they're going to ask him, so you can't fault. I don't know if he came out and said, hey, I want to make a big point of talking about my time with the Rams and how it ended. And in reality, it was more about how much he loves being in Detroit. It was a one little sentence dig at the Rams, but it was really about, hey, he loves Dan Campbell, loves the city of Detroit, loves Brad Holmes. And when you look at kind of the comment of, like, feeling loved, like, Brad Holmes was in the draft room when the Rams drafted him, right? Brad Holmes was Les Snead's right-hand man. So he was the mouthpiece that got Les Snead to draft Jared Goff. So when Brad Holmes then goes to Detroit to become the GM, that's his guy. He's like, I'm the one that essentially drafted Jared Goff. We can get him here in Detroit now and build around him, as I did in LA. Like, they moved to LA. That was their first big move, trading up to get Goff, and Brad Holmes was a part of that. Now he's in Detroit with a clean slate, starting everything brand new. It's like, hey, this is my guy starting in LA. Let's build around him here in Detroit. So that's clearly going to feel like love when the singular guy who helped draft you now also helps trade for you to build around you now twice. So while he was in a Detroit colors and a Lions polo, it was still the same love that was shown to you in LA, just now by the same person in a new city. But it is what it is. I didn't take any ill will from it. It's a guy I think I like Jared Goff. I think he's a great player. I think he's a great dude. It just seems like a good, genuine human being. But clearly still a little hurt by it. It seems like the two sides, at least McVay and Goff, have moved on to the extent of being, not that it was ever like malicious, but being more cordial and friendly. But I don't know if they'll ever get back to like the bromance that was, because again, remember, these guys are like 5 years different, like separated by like 5 years. Like, they're very close in age. So we'll see. I think as good as Jared Goff has been in Detroit, and I've been happy to see him have success there, when it comes to crunch time, when it comes to the playoffs, Rams fans, especially, like, the Rams won that trade with Matthew Stafford. And that's not intended to be a slight at Goff, but, I mean, just look at, yes, Detroit beat the Rams 2 years ago in the playoffs by 1 point. Yes, the Lions were the number 1 seed in the NFC this year, but you look at kind of 2 years ago, the collapse to the Niners in the second half. Last year, the blowout loss to a 6 seed Washington Commanders team with a rookie quarterback. Matthew Stafford obviously has the Super Bowl win while being here, but then also has some playoff wins aside from that, has the one play away this past season from beating the eventual Super Bowl champs in blizzard conditions in Philadelphia. So Goff, I think, is very good. I do think he's a good quarterback. I'm still doing that trade. I still think Stafford is the better quarterback. Now, we'll see this year. Stafford now going to be 38. Goff, obviously, much younger, 10 years or so younger. We'll see without Ben Johnson what Goff looks like. Remember, this is now his first new coordinator since being in Detroit with no Ben Johnson. So, big changes there. So, we'll see how much that affects him. But that's all. I just want to jump on and say that real quick. So, quarterback drops July 8th. Excited to watch it. I hope all of you have a fantastic 4th of July. Be safe. Have fun with friends and family. Enjoy the fireworks. Happy birthday, America. And we'll be back right after the weekend. Like I said, we're going to try to start doing daily videos. If you can hit that like and subscribe button, that helps us out a ton. As we keep kind of growing this thing. And like I said, all of our other Rams content, all of our other LA sports content, if you're a Dodgers fan, Lakers fan, big, DeAndre Ayton now with the Lakers, all that. We cover all of it. It's on LAFBnetwork.com. So make sure to check that out. Appreciate you all. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon.